have you ever had a moment where you felt like you missed God, or the word that you were saying was so bizarre that it was like, this is going to be the biggest train wreck of my life, or this is going to be the great? Do you have like a story where you're like, man, Jesus told me to do the weirdest, craziest thing, and it just ended up like a miracle? Do you have a story you can maybe share with people that would encourage them?
Well, I think saying yes to Lou about the send was pretty crazy, because we were like, wait, what?
Yeah.
We're going to do what? And Lou's like, and you guys are all going to pay for it. And we're like, what? So
yeah.
And Andy and I are like, man, this sounds right. And Dan and Todd and Kale were all like, we're actually doing this. So that, I think, as a lifestyle change, it's not like we needed more to do, but we were like, wait, what are we going to do? So that, in general, over the last 2 years has been like something it had to be Jesus.
Yeah.
Had to be. So there was that, but I think probably, this is funny. So I was preaching in a church back when Jesus Image first started. I think there were like maybe 50 people there. And it was in Louisiana. And God started moving. And I had made this secret deal with God. One of the portions of that deal was, I will never use a piece of clothing or my coat like my father-in-law. You've seen all those memes where I'm like, that ain't happening ever, because he got lit up for that. And people,
yeah.
I'm like, Lord, is there any way I could serve you and everyone could like me?
Yeah.
If I could just get everyone to never say anything bad about me, that would be an amazing accomplishment. So I just tried to be really nice and fast and pray, only to discover that made more people not like me. So there's a lady there. She has rheumatoid arthritis, and the Lord speaks to me. He says, take your sweater off. I had a sweater on, and just lay it over her hands. And I'm like, no. And I knew that I knew, man. There was no shaking it. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. There's got to be another way. And the Lord he's like, hey, this meeting can end now. Like, if you want to stop here, we can.
Wow.
But if you're willing to lose your dignity, I'll keep moving. So, bro, I fought I was just like struggled, and finally I took the sweater off and just walked up to her. It was one of those like button cardigan deals, like a little hipster look. I had that hipster thing going. So I walked up to that lady. I'll never forget it. And I wrapped him, and he goes, now I want you to tell her, when you take that sweater off, she'll be healed. And I'm like, man, this is way too much,
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for this. So I did it. And man, I'm telling you, when I took that sweater off, the Lord healed her. I unwrapped it like I'd wrapped it like a bandage on her hand and took it off.
Wow.
And the Lord healed her. And I don't know why he does that to us. Heidi says, I'll never forget it, at Azusa, at the call of Azusa, Dan was about to preach for the first time with Lou and the whole tribe. And Heidi said, hey, Dan, we were all up there. She was just gunning. Remember, it rained all day.
Yeah.
She's just praying. I mean, there's no one like her. I don't know anyone who gives more of herself of themselves in a moment than Heidi. And sure enough, man, she walks up to Dan. She goes, hey, when you take a platform, Dan, don't try to be some special man of God, a big man of God. She said, be lowly like a child. And
wow.
And I think that's what the Lord invites us into, is that type of invitation that brings us to the end of ourselves. So
wow, that's powerful.
They're special. They're very special times, and we have to lose the fear of man, Brian.